Hello guys, so in this video we are going to do JSP form validation. So it is a really simple one. I'm going to do a simple form validation. First we will enter the username and password, and if it is correct, if it is there in the database, it will take us to a JSP page, or else it will take us to the same page, same HTML page showing that it is incorrect. So for that I'm going to create a new project. Java web application. You have to select, you have to click next. Project name I'm going to do form validation. Okay, then click next, and I'm going to click finish. So you have to add the server as we have done in previous videos. It's that simple. So here there is already one HTML file by default. So this is my user password, which is form validation. So this is our project. So there are 4 packages. So we need to add a database to it. So we have to add a SQL connector to it. So right click on this libraries, add jar folder, and MySQL connector. You have to download this. I have explained these in the previous videos while we are doing servlets. So just download this, and you have to add this jar file to this library. So I have successfully added. Now what we are going to do is, in this web pages we will paste all the HTML and JSP files, and in this source package we will paste the servlet or Java files, etc. So we are going to create a HTML file. So here one index.html is there, so I'm going to do it in this itself. So in this body I'm going to create, first we need a username as well as password. So I'm directly going to enter the details in the database rather than creating another page. So I'm just going to show the connect how we can do the validation. So open example, and in this exam I'm going to start the Apache server, as well as now after it's successfully loaded, then only start MySQL. So here my server is already running. Okay, so after this is successfully started, now we have to click the admin. So we have to create a table. So here what I'm going to do is, inside one already created database, you can do that. I'm using it here itself in MySQL itself. I'm going to create a new table. No, we can't create in this side. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to use some other database. So I'm using this register. Okay, you can create another database if needed. So I'm going to click new. I'm going to create a new table. I'm going to give the name validation. Okay, so I'm going to give it enter username. Okay, username, and in this I'm going to give password. Okay, I'm just giving it a text. Text is good. Password also I'm going to give text. So these 2 fields, 2 rows are needed. Now we can save this. Now our database is successfully created. Now I'm going to enter some data, because I'm not going to create another page for that. I'm directly entering here. So you can click this insert. You can add some data. I'm going to give John. Okay, the password I will give 1234, and one more username I'm going to give like John Stephen. I'm going to give 111. Okay, I'm saving these 2 details. So I have successfully saved these 2 details, John 1234 and Stephen 123. So these 2 data are already added to our database. Now we are going to check, like while the user enters the username and password, if it is all correct, then it will take us to the page it is needed. So I'm going to link it to an JSP, or else it will show enter valid credentials. That's all. So here we need a form. Okay, this is the HTML form, the first one. So I'm going to create a form. Then what we need, the method I'm going to use is post. Okay, use the post method. Now the next one is action, which page we are going to. So I'm creating I will create a servlet for that. So linking page, I'm going to give the name. Okay, form is successfully created. Now inside this I'm going to enter first the username. Enter username. Okay, So I'm giving some space. For HTML we will use and NBSP for giving the space. Now input, okay, input, and the type is it's username. No, so text is enough, text is enough. And the name is, this is a must because we are connecting this, we are using this variable, so I'm going to use user itself I'm going to give, and I'm going to close this. Okay, so username, just comment, it's not needed. Then enter password. Okay, this is a login page. I'm not creating a sign up page, as I already told. I have directly entered the data into the database, so that's not needed. Then now I'm going to giving the same thing, input, giving the type is equal to password, because we are using password. You can do anything if it's number or anything like that. Then name I'm going to give is pass. Okay, okay, I have created the password. Now password. Okay, now we need the submit button, so I'm going to input directly input, and type is equal to submit. Okay, I'm going to give the type as submit, and the value will be, what will be give, value will be login. I'm giving login. Okay, so it's created. I'm just going to give spaces, and first here I'm just going to login page. Okay, we need spaces, so I'm just going to give this space here itself, or also here. So now login page is created. To see this, you can right click and click run file. Okay, sometimes this run will not work, so what you have to do is go to file and project properties. In this you have to go to compiling, and inside this compiling just deselect this, it's not needed, compile on save, and click OK. And then if you click right click run file, it will work. So you can change the browser here. My browser is by default Edge, Microsoft Edge itself. So here, yeah, the page is needed, that's all it's needed. So here we will enter the username, here we will enter the password, it will come like this. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are connecting it to the main linking page, so it's a servlet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, where we will add the servlet, this is web pages for HTML as well as JSP. So we'll add the servlet in source packages. Click on the source package, right click, new, and click servlet. So give the same name as that I have given for in the action. So I have given linking page, so linking page. Okay, linking page I have given. Then don't click finish, you have to click next, because you have to add it to the deployment descriptor. Okay, or else it will not work. You have to click next, then only add this information, then click finish. So now we have successfully created the servlet page. This is how the servlet page looks like. I have done a video on this, you can see that. So here we are going to write the code, okay, inside the body. So before that we have to accept the data. So as I have given the type as username as well as password as text and password, so it will be string itself. So I'm going to accept the data. So for the first one I'm going to give the name as user1. Okay, so to accept the data from that page we have to request. So the key syntax is request dot get parameter. Okay, don't forget this is what we use for accepting the data, for collecting the data. Okay, then give that keyword, give that variable that we have given in here, name. That's why I have said name is must. Okay, so name here I have given user, and for this I have given pass. So we have to create, here I am giving user. Okay, now for this pass one I'm giving a variable as pass one, then request dot same thing, pass. Okay, now we have collected the data, that's it. This is how we get the variables from that page to this page. So this is the syntax that we use, request dot get parameter. Okay, there is get parameters, values too, you can use that, you can try that. By using values there is no need to collect each data like this. Using values you can collect it overall. Okay, that's the difference between get parameter and get parameter values. Now we are going to enter the data into here. So what we are going to do is, it will come to this page and we have to connect to the database. This page will not be shown at all, because from this login page, we are going to the main page. If the password is correct, it will go to the main page. If the password is incorrect, it will stay at this page itself. Okay, so there should be an engine running. Okay, if it is correct, it will take that user to that page. If it is incorrect, I will show it. So this is our login page. Okay, and this is the one that we have created now, login.java. This is a servlet page. Okay, so this is the page that we have to go to if the user is correct. This is the main page. Okay, main page, this is where we are going to. This is the, I'm just for understanding, engine, I'm going to give it like that. So this is the login page. Okay, if the data is correct, if the user have entered the data well, then what we have to do is, then he will be directly taken to this main page. If the data is incorrect, then he will be taken to this page itself, and it will show that your credentials is wrong. So there is no role. It will be like there is no role for this engine. But this engine actually, what it does is this. I have given the servlet. You can do JSP itself. So this engine will check whether the user's data is correct. If it is correct, it will take to the main page. If it is not correct, it will take back to the login page. So we will be using some certain instances. So I will explain this while writing the code. So now we are currently at the engine page, that is linking page I have given. So I have collected the data from the login page, username as well as password, and it is here as it is. I have written it as user1 as well as pass1. Okay, as I have passed it to the string. Now what we need is we have to connect it to the database. I have created a database, as you have already seen. The database name is register, and the table name I have created is validations. That the two points that you have to remember. Okay, a register as well as validation. So here what I'm going to do is, while for connecting, it is really simple. I have done a video on that. You can see how we can connect to the database, how we can insert data, how we can retrieve data, likewise. So the first we have to register class.forName of I'm using MySQL database com.mysql.jdbc.driver. Okay, now I have successfully connected com.mysql.jdbc.driver. Now what we have to do is this time underline unexpected report exception. Okay, so I forgot that we have to use to give it inside try and catch. Some exception can occur. So whenever doing something based on databases, you have to put it in try as well as catch block. So print stack, we have to catch the exception. Print stack trace. Okay, now I'm going to put this inside our try block. Okay, now what we need, now we have successfully registered. Now we are going to connect it to the database. So for that we are using connection. Given the variable c, we cannot use new keyword. So the syntax is driver manager. This is the class that we are using, driver manager dot get connection. Okay, now we have to get that URL. So jdbc mysql, then it's localhost I'm using. Then by default the port number is 3306. Give the slash and close the brackets, and you have to give the username. My username is root, and there's no password for me. You can check it whatever your password is. Here it's showing underline because we have to import it. Right click, add import. Here also right click, add import. Okay, if it's confusing you at first, you can add import java.sql.star. That's enough. And I have imported like this. You can do it anyway. Now we have connected to the database. Okay, connected. Okay, now we have successfully connected. Let's see whether our connection is successful. You just do it like this, out.println. In this we have to use out.println for displaying everything. Okay, we have to use out.println. So I'm just giving connected. Okay, this is what I'm going to use. Let's see whether it is successfully connected. Here I forgot something. JDBC MySQL localhost, then 3306. Then we have to give the database name. So here my database name is register. You have seen my database name is register. You can give your database name. So I'm going to give register, then only it will be connected. Okay, now let's run. While running, go back to the HTML page. You have to save both of them, then run it. Right click and run. Okay, so the page has come. I'm clicking something. I haven't given any condition. I'm clicking login. Yes, it is connected. This means, once again. Okay, this means our database is successfully connected. I have given this connected. Now it is connected to our database. Now what we are going to do is we are going to go into the LinkedIn page. Okay, wait a second. Okay. Now I'm going to change this. It's not needed because this page will not show. As I have told, this is the engine page. Okay, this page will not show. There is no need for giving connected at all. Now we are directly going to the connection. Now we are going to check if the user entered details is there in the database, and if it is correct. Okay, if it is correct, we have to go to a particular page. We are using forward, I will tell that. And if it is incorrect, we are giving a keyword include. Okay, so for that, what we have to prepare a statement. Okay, prepared statement. I'm going to give ps is equal to from this connection dot prepare statement, not prepare call, prepare statement. Okay, now the statement SQL query that I want to enter is select star from. I'm going to get all the details from the table name. Okay, here we are not giving the database name. Here we are going to give the table names. I think we have given validation. Yes, validation. So we have to write the validation. Validation where I'm going to give username is equal to just like this, and pass. There will be other syntaxes, you can try that. So here I'm just going to check the validation, a simple one. Under and showing, just import it. Now this thing is done. We have prepared the statement. I'm going to set the strings. Okay, set string of in the first one means this first line, first column. Okay, username. So 2 means that password column. So user one itself. Okay, that string. Okay, we are going to check it. Okay, I'm going to set it ps dot set string of set string of 2 comma pass. Okay, pass one. Now it's successfully done. Now what we're going to do is we have to retrieve the data. Okay, we are going to check it likewise. So we need a result set. I have said it in the previous videos. For retrieving the data, we use a result set, giving the name rs is equal to from this prepared statement. I'm going to execute the query. Okay, this is the syntax for the result set. Okay, I have imported that too. Everything is done. First we have registered, we have connected, we have prepared the statement, and we have set it to all the values, like username will be that, password will be that. It is automatically linked. Now we have created a result set. Now the main part comes. We are going to redirect. We are not redirect. If the password and username is correct, we have to take the user to that page. To that, I'm going to create a JSP page, or else we have to keep that user at that index page itself. Okay, so for that we are using request dispatcher. Request, request, request dispatcher. Okay, request dispatcher is the one that we are using for taking the user to that main page if the username and password is correct, or keeping the user at that page itself and showing that it is incorrect. So I'm creating a variable rd. I'm going to request dispatcher. Okay, so I have to import this, import request dispatcher. Okay, it's a class from the servlet. So now we are going to the loop. Okay, we have to get all the details now. So in the loop rs.next, I have already explained these things in the previous video. So now we are checking all the details. If it is correct, we have to take the user to that page, or else we have to keep that user there itself. So I'm going to create if rs.getString. Okay, if rs.getString of pass, first one we will check username, user1 dot equals if rs.getString of 1, the first one. Okay, dot equals of user1, and rs.getString of 2 dot equals of pass1. Okay, we'll explain this. If the first string, that means if the user inside this database is equal to the ended user one. Okay, if it is equal to the ended user one, as well as if the second one, that is password, which is equal to the ended password, then it should be redirected. So for the redirector, what we have to use is from the variable of request dispatcher rd dot rd equal to request dot get request dispatcher. Yeah, get request dispatcher of to which class, to which page we have to go. We have to go to a new main page now. So I'm giving main page dot JSP. I will create a class named main page dot JSP. Put this inside double quotes. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that user to the main page if it is correct. Okay, if this condition is correct. So it's not finished yet. Rd dot forward, that's what we use, forward, just like that, forward of request, and we will be giving the response. That's it. We have created the variable getting the request, get request dispatcher to this page. Okay, so that's correct. If it's not correct, what I'm going to do is outside the while loop I'm going to give, sometimes it will get an error if you give else part. So here what we can do is if the condition is incorrect, it will exit the while loop and will take the user dot same thing request dot get a request dispatcher off to the main index page itself. You have to keep the user in the index page itself, so index.html. Okay, for this we are not using forward because the page it will be that in that page itself. So rd.include, we are going to include. That's it. Forwarding, we are taking the user to that page. Include, we are keeping it here. We can even use redirect. Redirect is another thing. We can try that in the next videos. So that's it. So for a change, I have to show it. No, like the credentials are incorrect. Okay, that's what I'm going to keep. Outer println. So I think everything is correct. We have done everything. So we need to create the main page.jsp. So while creating JSP, you have to click it in the web pages itself. Username dot, no, this is not here, form validation. In the web pages itself, you have to create. Okay, I don't need this class, I accidentally created. So in the web pages itself, I'm going to create the JSP. Right click, new JSP. Okay, main page. I have given the name as main page. Okay, then click finish. That's all, nothing more needed. So we will be taking the user to here. I will just say welcome. For a change, what I'm going to do is welcome. While writing the code inside JSP, what you have to do is you have to give this inside this. Every code should be inside this. Okay, so here also I'm just collecting the data. Name is equal to request dot get parameter of that user. That's what I have given, and I'm going to display it out.println of what's his name. It's not needed. Out.println. Okay, let's try it. Out.println welcome at the name. Okay, how to see, just display the name. That's all. Okay, so I think everything is correct. I think everything is correct. So let's see what it will do. So linking page, only totally 3 pages. Okay, so let's see. So here it comes. So the login form. So totally I have entered 3 data, John, Stephen, as well as Manu in the database. So I'm gonna try that. John. So here I have already entered, and the password I have given is the database is 1234. So I'm gonna type 1234. Okay, wait a minute. So yes, welcome John. So it is successfully working. Okay, so it's taking me to the JSP page. Now if I take the another one like Stephen. Okay, Stephen, and the password I have given is 111. Okay, in the database I have given 111, and if I click login, yes, it's working. Welcome, Stephen. If I give some other password or something like that, it will show the credentials are incorrect. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope you understood. Okay, guys, see you again in next video.